Hello, you beautiful people out there. What is going on? This is your friend Britik coming at you fast with the very first Black Ops 3 Sights and Strats video, and it is on the map Fringe, and we're going to be talking about Search and Destroy today. Now, before we get any further into this awesome, lovely guide of mine that I love doing every single year for every Call of Duty, make sure you guys hit that like button. Let's go for 50. I just want to see how fast we can hit that personally, and if you guys are excited and do enjoy the series, make sure you guys hit that like button as well. But we're going to be playing on the map Fringe here, showing it off, showing you lines of sights, strategies for Search and Destroy, stuff that I found out to do is pretty good for, you know, winning on this map in these kind of situations, stuff like that. So just a bunch of really good tips all thrown together into one big detailed video. Now before we get started, I kind of wanted to talk about the map itself. If you look at the map layout, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of Standoff a little bit. And plus, like, the buildings and the way they're set up also remind me of Standoff just a little bit in some areas. And I absolutely loved Standoff. And I really, really like this map as well. It's in my top, top 3 maps, most likely, in the whole game, I think. That's just how I feel about it. Because I just really like this map. I just understand this map. I really like all the spots on it, all the things that you can do. Just everything. Everything about this map is really nice, really well set up, really well even out map. So first things first is these head glitches. Like, you're going to find these all around the map is these trucks. Always use them. They're awesome. The flatbed trucks, they're awesome head glitches. You know, you can look at the top grandmas and stuff like that from over here. And, like, just if you crouch, you can dodge everything. It's great. These trucks are awesome. So that's just like, if you ever see a truck, just use that as a head glitch. Use this as a head glitch. You know, you could also actually, hold on. I don't know if you can get on the sun anymore. I don't think you can. Oh, yes, you can. You could also do this. You could also do this. So you could actually also stand up here to kind of throw people off, but your body's kind of exposed. So I don't know. Be careful about that. But, yeah. Simple stuff. Simple stuff, for example, like if you're watching a corner, watch it at elevation instead of watch stuff. But anyway, let's actually get into the actual strats and stuff like that. So when you're starting on defense, we're going to start with defense, then we'll move on to offense. This might be a pretty long video, guys, so, stay tuned. If you're going to B, which is what I love doing, I usually go around through the back right here. Obviously, this is like a pretty common way to go, and you can get into the barn from this window as well if you want to either watch the middle or watch, from up here. But this spot is super obvious, right? Super obvious. And this is just to watch the cross. But you got to be careful. You got to make sure that you're watching the cross well with the sniper or something like that, because you got to be aware of the people up in top grandmas, as I like to call it. This really reminds me of Standoff right here. This open, middle area with a bit of cover, but then like building from building over there. Just little stuff like that. Obviously it's not a remake of Standoff whatsoever, but just little stuff. So also, what I like doing is wall running like this when coming over to the defensive side on B when I turn the corner, because when you do that, it throws off the other people's aims. Like, you guys saw a clip, hopefully, of mine, of where I wall ran around 2 guys here on the train, right? I stunned from over here, and then I wall ran this way. Or actually, no, not that way. What did I do? I wall ran up against this, and then I jumped over them and killed them and then turned around. So, wall running is very important. I did make a video about that, so if you guys want to check that out as well, it's very important. So, rather than coming around the corner like this, where you have no cover and they have a head glitch and an angle at you, it's really hard to pick people off at this angle. Really hard. So, wall running just makes it that much easier right here. Boom, like right there. Easy points right there. But if you don't feel like wall running and you want to take it a bit slow, you will reach this area before they push up far enough, unless they're just crazy super fast rushers. And you can actually have enough time to get behind this cone right here. Now, be careful. You don't want to get right here in this corner, because what they can do is they can come around the side and jump up and see you and shoot you if they're not bad. Although it is hard to jump shot in this game, because you do like lose a lot of your accuracy when you land on the ground because you bounce. But sitting here in this corner is pretty good. I like this corner because then you can watch this area as they come around. They can't really see you from that crack. They have to come around and check the corner on their own. But if they do, and if they're good enough, they can literally just jump over you. So that could be a risky place to be, especially with how long the game's been out already. People have already figured out that area. So, yeah. Another thing you can do is you can actually get behind this rock. You can head glitch this rock. This is a gnarly head glitch if you want to try your luck. If you have like a sniper and you want to just watch train. That's really good as well. I also don't want to go over really the obvious spots. Like there's some really obvious spots that you can do, but yeah, you can jump up and check the window from up here if you see anybody in bricks right there, just using your boost. So that's pretty cool. You could also get up on this barrel and do the same thing if you don't want to do it from over there. You can't actually get up on that because that's sloped. So this room right here is actually a pretty good room to chill in. It's a nice little room to, like, if you have teammates or if it's like a 2v1 situation, you guys can camp corners and watch each other's corners. But there's really not too much cover. It's just cool. When pushing up this train tracks, okay, this is pretty important on this map in my opinion because these train tracks are pretty crazy. Usually there's a guy like up there watching. So what you could do is, obviously you can go from cover to cover right here, wall run, go back in like this, maybe wall run again, and then you get close enough to where you can take him out. But if the guy sees you, like if you're running this way and the guy sees you right back there, be careful about jumping on this wall, by the way, when you're coming off of either this thing or the other thing. Be careful because that happened to me once and I couldn't stop it, I couldn't control it, and the guy picked me off from over there. So if they do see you though, like if they notice you, oh my gosh, but you still want to push up and be, you know, crazy like that, what you could do is right here, if you jump off right here, they can't see you from up there anymore until they move to the side right here. So if you want, you can take your chance like that. You can peek it, of course, before you go out and just bob and weave through these train tracks. And that might sound a bit, you know, simple, but it's actually kind of hard to do well. And you need to kind of get a bit of practice doing it, just faking out the other people. Now back here, this area, like I feel like people forget about this area. This is a pretty good area because you can watch the flank, right? You could sit in this corner, see if they come past, see if they cross through middle and push up and try to flank, you know, see if they come through zigzag or snake or whatever you want to call it. They can push up through here again. Just a pretty good way to watch flank. But this is actually usually on offense, but just a good spot right there. Also, you know, just always using elevation. Like, this game's all about elevation now, too, because now with the jetpack and the wall running, you can get a really good advantage on people just by getting really high up in the air and getting better vantage points that people don't think about. So, that's pretty good. You could also watch this from up here. If you have a sniper, you could also jump up here and watch those lines of sights, see if anybody's crossing. I don't know if you'll hit a shot. If you do, that's pretty awesome. It's a pretty dope shot to hit, but yeah, it's pretty difficult in that sense. You could also stand on the fence, kind of, for a bit more cover, you know, and peek out this way, right behind this wall, and hope you can get somebody from here. But again, snipers and LMGs are best at this range. You can use an M8 or something, that might work too, but yeah. So this is Grandma's house. This is a pretty, you know, decent general area where you can see people, pick them off and everything. Of course, it's a window though, and you can shoot through it pretty easily because it's made of wood, because it's a fucking house, and there is a portrait in the bathtub. That's okay. Oops, did not mean to do that. So, also you can get up here in case you didn't know, and go through the window this way. So if you're trying to break in there, you can do stuff like that. So, with B, really the thing with B is you gotta be, obviously on defense you gotta be passive on both, but you also want to push up enough to the point where you have map control. So on B, I would recommend always have a guy up in barn because it is a power position after all, and you do have a large amount of sight range up in this area. You can also see if they push out from A. If they're trying to flank you at B, you can see if they push out that doorway. Or you can even go back into the spawn on one of the first head glitches that I showed, which was right here. You could use this as a head glitch to see if they're going to flank you. This is also an anchor spot for one of them, I think. But you can see if they come around through there or through there if they're trying to flank through B. So you can have one guy there, one guy in barn watching middle, right up here. And this is if you're playing a 4v4, right? We're talking about 4v4s. Then you can have a guy sitting either in this corner, like I said, or maybe even back here. Again, like on this rock head glitch to see if they push up or not. Like when you play B, I feel like you can use an AR and be successful while playing B. But if you have an SMG, then you can sit in this little room right here. People like to sit in. Just do dumb stuff, really. Like sometimes the stupidest things work against the best players because they don't expect it. So you can just literally lie in the doorway and wait for them to try and turn around and turn into it without checking. And you can kind of, you know, catch them by surprise there. Because, again, there's not much cover here, so there's nothing you can, like, head glitch or anything. So you kind of just got to be tricky. You can also see their feet through under the train tracks, in case you did not know. So you can kind of, like, see a little bit. Not enough to react though. I wouldn't recommend doing it, but just in case you ever get caught in that situation, you can do it. I would have sucked if I just like impaled myself on those. So yeah, so pretty much as long as you control these tracks, and as long as you make sure nobody flanks you, the only other place they can go is through here, through the middle. But you got a guy like watching up there in the middle, so hopefully that does not happen. And if they do somehow slip by and get into this little room, you should have a guy prepared. Like you could honestly, you could just like lie down by a barrel even. Sometimes you can do the simplest stuff that people just don't expect and it will work. Okay, so that's B in a nutshell. I mean, I could go into even more detail, like when you should throw your stun and all that kind of stuff, but that's like really, really difficult to explain, and it's best if you guys just practice on your own and figure it out for your own, because I can only do so much by telling you guys what to do. You guys actually have to get out there and do it yourself and practice yourself. So, yeah. I guess I kind of also... Alright, whatever, fuck it. Alright, so we're doing defense on A now. So on A, when you start off with the rush, what a lot of people like to do, there's a couple things you can do. You can either play passive and sit behind this hay bale. I do not recommend that, though. I recommend sitting behind the truck. The truck is awesome. Awesome head glitch. I love the truck. But what people do is they either come up here and head glitch this, which is pretty gnarly, not gonna lie, or just sit down here if they don't want to see the doorway, if they don't want to be visible to the doorway, or they can do this as well. Or if you want to play aggressive, what I recommend doing is jumping up on this wall, running, and then, you know, flying out and over, and then right as you land, if the guy's rushing like at the same pace as you, then he should be coming around this corner if he's not already around the corner. So be ready for that if you're playing aggressively. That's something that I've noticed. Also, again, this truck, awesome head glitch. There's just a lot of head glitches on this map. So if you're attacking, it's going to be really hard for you because it's just like head glitch city up in this bitch. So yeah, there's a lot of good little sight lines right here. Of course, the bomb room, you can head glitch the bomb too, kind of, sort of, maybe not really, like in this sense. I don't know, people get used to that. Can you get up on this? No, you cannot. Can you get up on any of these? No, you cannot. So you can't, like, jump up and sit in at a little bit of an elevated position, which could probably help you at times, but you can't do it in that room. This room you can. However, it's not really recommended, but this room is a nice room because you can see both windows from this room, and you can, you know, get a good control of middle, especially for hardpoint because the hardpoint's in the middle here at first, so you can come through here and really get a good advantage because you can pick people off of these head glitches and stuff. So it's pretty nice. But we're talking about search and destroy right now, not hardpoint, Britik. Come on now, what you doing? So that's actually, like, A is really, really simple on defense. I can't, like, besides these head glitches and besides just chilling inside the room, there's really nothing else that you can do. Of course, you can watch the flank from B. You can actually, what you could do is you could actually look through this glass. So you crouch up on this, look through this glass, and see people. Although when you start shooting, it will cause this kind of stuff to appear. So just use it as a sight line and then just stand up and shoot them. But it's really hard to see you when you're behind dark glass like this. So you can use it as a little sight line and then use that as a head glitch to shoot them. So that's a good way to watch flank. Another good way to watch flank that a lot of people just don't even realize, that just sit back here and spawn. You can lie down and look behind these little grates, and this is super simple, and you can see like the entirety of it. You can see them if they come up top, or if they try to go all the way around, or if they come out the doorway, you'll see it in your periphery from right here. So that's a really, really good spot as well. I don't know, like, a lot of people like to try and get fancy and find, like, all these crazy head glitches and stuff, but forget that sometimes being simple is also really good because people don't expect it. Like, lying down right here as well. It's really simple and people will, like, pick up on it, but sometimes they don't. Like, if you're playing a game of Search and Destroy and you want to get, like, sporadic and you want to mix things up, and for the entirety of the game you've been on these crazy head glitches and spots, and people are expecting you to be on these crazy head glitches and spots, mix it up and just do something incredibly, overwhelmingly, stupidly simple, and it'll make them feel stupid when you kill them because they're like, oh, god damn it, fuck, that's such an obvious spot. I've checked that the last 3 rounds, but I didn't expect them to be there. And that's another easy kill right there. So it's just stuff like that. Honestly, stuff like that. You can't get up on any of this. You can wall run, but you can't get up on any of this. There is no second story, unfortunately, to this room. That would be cool if there was, but there is not. And yeah, that's about it for defense. Like, I pretty much showed most of the map and the lines of sights on defense. And then on offense, it's pretty self-explanatory. By the way, you could also, you know, chill back here. You can chill back here and watch the flank to see if they come through. Oh, this spot right here. All right. So, let's say we're doing offense, right? We're going to A. You're going to spawn, like, right there-ish. So I come around, or yeah, somewhere around here, whatever, it doesn't matter. Come around the back of this house, and you know you'd rush in through here, through the shack, whatever, go to the A-bomb site. But sorry, I sneezed. I had to mute my mic. My bad. But here's a good spot to lie in. Lie down behind this box, and you can actually, just actually see if people run by you. So you can see if people try to flank you. And if you push out this way a little bit, you can see if people jump onto that windowsill too. So this could be really good because some people, like, you could have like 3 people go B, and then have one person sit right here on the spot. They will probably flank around because this is a pretty small map, and that's what a lot of people do is when they go to their bomb site and they see that nobody's there, instead of being really defensive, they like being really aggressive, and they're like flanking around. So you can catch them, you know, flanking and shoot them in the butt right here because they won't notice, like they won't pay attention to look this way because when you're coming out of this doorway, you're running and you're looking this way. You're looking just this way, or you're going up into the house somehow. Like you're not going to specifically go out and check this corner. Like nobody's going to do that. So this is a really, really good spot. I haven't seen people use that spot. I've been using it since day one. I just think it's really, really smart. It reminds me of that spot on Freight in between the fences where you can watch. Oh, never mind. You guys probably won't even understand what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's a really good spot for offense. And then on offense on A, again, like when you get to this point, expect somebody to be at this window, already be pre-aiming to see if anybody's, you know, on the head glitches or on the truck, or maybe even in the doorway. You know, like I said, sometimes people like doing stupid stuff, then jump out, or even slide out, because sliding is super, super, super awesome in this game. Very, very easy to do, and really hard to hit you when you're sliding. So definitely slide with that. And if you plant the bomb, I mean, what you can do is you can plant it like right here on this corner so you can see it from out here in a sort of sense. Like you can see it all the way from like around this way. So you can get up into this window and see the bomb right there. Another thing that you can do, you can plant the bomb this way so you can see it from middle, which is kind of random, but you can actually like come out here and see it from middle because if it's like a one-on-one situation and you wrap your way around, and they're like looking for you, you can take the chance that, you know, they're going to be here. So you can do that. Also, excuse me, you can't really, I mean, if you plant the bomb here, this is usually how people plant so that they can't be seen from there or from outside, but then it's hard to watch. So it's a double-edged sword. So like you're safer when you're planting it, but then it's harder to watch and come through. Like you actually have to get inside and see if anybody's there. So that's kind of risky. I don't recommend doing that. I'd recommend either planting it on this corner or right here in the middle. And then for offense on B, like I said, like the train tracks are going to be your best friend forever and ever. So what you could do is you could just get up on here and you can have one guy with an AR just like scoping it out, you know, making sure nobody rushes up against you. And then you can have another guy like push up this way and then use the tracks as a head glitch. But like while you're running up here, you can stun this way, and more often than not, I usually hit the stun right there because people like to be in that spot. And so when you do, you can just jump up here, and when you get up really high in the air, it is really hard for people to hit you while they're stunned. When you get really, really high up in the air, because I'm sure most of you guys have gotten stunned in this game, you can barely move anything at all. It's pretty ridiculous. So you get up this high, you can get some pretty easy kills doing that kind of stuff. So you can have one guy go up this way, you can have another guy go into this room right here, and go through this room, you know, check the top, make sure to check all the spots, and have a guy back there, then push up later. Then you can have a guy be a distraction at A, and then flank around through A, and flank all the way around through the backside of barn, clear out barn. As soon as you get barn control, it's pretty much GG when you're planning B, like at me, rap god, but in all honesty, like if you get control of barn and tracks, it's GG pretty much when you plan on B side. So unless you just get absolutely bamboozled, absolutely destroyed in a gunfight or something like that, you shouldn't really worry about that. I mean, you could hide in corners in barn like this. This is an average corner, pretty average corner. You could sit in this corner. You could have just 2 people sitting in opposite corners watching windows and stuff. You can actually also hide by the stairs right here. So you can watch the doorway, and people are going to have to check the stairs down here if they're running down. Sometimes they don't notice, though, because they're running like this. If you pay attention to the way my camera's located, you just run this way, right? You don't even look at the bottom of the stairs right there. So that could be a good spot as well. I think that's it for now. There's probably a bunch more spots that I can go into, but this video is already going on 20 minutes, and I don't want to make too long of a video, although I do make these videos really detailed for you guys because I know how much you guys like these videos. So if you did enjoy the video, make sure you guys drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you did have a favorite spot somewhere in this, then point it out. Or if you found a spot on your own, let me know in the comment section below. I'll take a look at it and see if there's any extra spots to do, because I might start doing that. I might start doing like little 5-minute videos that give some extra spots and lines of sights that I just end up learning later. But yeah, other than that, guys, if you guys want to find spots on your own, you always can go in a private match, or just by playing a lot, you'll find out spots that other people use against you to kill you, stuff like that, you know. Just all kinds of different stuff, but there's usually the same mindset to it. Elevation, 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 then head glitches, head glitches, head glitches. Those are usually the two best things. It's like you're playing eels and escalators. So, yeah. Instead of eels and escalators, it is wall running and head glitches. So there you guys have it. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, make sure you all have a wonderful day.